So Ready Player One, for those of you who've been under a rock, is Steven Spielberg's latest directorial
Dwayne
effort.
Johnson?
Yeah, but yeah, not that rock.
Hey.
Yeah. Although he's getting big enough that you could hide underneath him.
You could almost hide underneath the man.
So basically, Ready Player One is an adaptation of a famous novel that came out in 2011. It was very popular.
It is.
It's about virtual reality. The premise, I'm just going to read a synopsis here. It says, when the creator of a virtual reality world called the Oasis dies, he releases a video in which he challenges all Oasis users to find his Easter egg, which will give the finder his fortune. And that's the premise for the most part. We get an idea here of a dystopian future that takes place in 2045, where everything is miserable. People live in these trailer parks, basically, that are stacked one on top of each other. The focus of this film is one in particular kid that lives in one of these parks in Columbus, Ohio, and spends, like everybody else, most of his free time.
Deluxe.
Yeah, and he spends most of his free time in the augmented reality of the Oasis, kind of like the Matrix on steroids, where you can be anything you want, and there's movie references galore all over the place.
There are.
You have an avatar where you look like somebody totally different.
You can look at whoever you want. This is kind of a dream world.
It is. Everybody has a moniker in there. You don't say your real name.
Nobody says who they are.
Yeah.
But when you die in this particular world, I think if you die 3 times, then you actually...
well, you don't die in real life, but you lose all your coinage.
Oh, that's true.
And you got to start from scratch.
All your Bitcoin.
And some people spend years and years, if not over a decade, building up this fortune within this fantasy world.
So. Yeah.
And you can buy things at the virtual store.
Which was
you can,
funny. You see these little men sitting in office buildings, and they suddenly get killed. And
yeah. What's cool is that you can buy you use your coinage to buy something within the game, but you pick to have it shipped to the real world, and then you get out of your game, and there's a package with your new jumpsuit on, you can have sensations. And
yeah, absolutely.
So the main character is a kid named Wade, played by Ty Sheridan.
He's very good.
Yeah, he's good. We saw him in Mud and Joe. Those movies. Mud was a movie that he did with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, okay.
And he did a movie called Joe, which was actually very good with Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
Okay.
And he was the new Cyclops in the X-Men Apocalypse.
Interesting.
We have the villain in this film was played by the Australian actor Ben Mendelsohn, who is the head of a rival corporation who wants to get this Easter egg and control this Oasis for the benefit of his company and control everything. Because everybody pretty much is addicted to this.
I know.
And so, in essence, who controls the Oasis controls everything.
Controls everything.
But anyway, and then the founder, the brilliant guy that created the Oasis that died, is played by the British actor Mark Rylance.
You know, he was wonderful. Isn't he a Doctor Who?
No, but he won the Oscar. He won the Oscar Best Supporting Actor for Bridge of Spies.
Did he?
Yeah, and he was in the Monster Calls that you liked.
Oh my God, he looks so totally different.
Well, he's got a big wig, and
No, he looks like Garth, kind of.
He kind of does. Yeah, party on, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But
he was wonderful.
He was good in this film.
He was very good, very natural. There he is, right there.
There he is,
on
Mark
screen.
Rylance.
Check him out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
There he
is.
I
got to say right off the bat that I really enjoyed Ready Player One. I thought it was fantastic. I probably enjoyed it more than some of the more recent Spielberg films. It was just a lot of... I like The Post too.
Did you?
But I just thought this was a really good old time. It's a classic Hollywood, big popcorn movie with a ton of references from my generation when I was a kid, the 80s.
Very true.
Music, there's a cartoon character, video games, there's just movie references throughout. I had a blast watching this movie, and it was a little long, but I really enjoyed it.
It's 2 hours and 16 minutes long, and I must say I agree with you. Though I didn't love it. You kind of know where these films are going in your own mind. You know that the one little dark horse kid is going to prevail. It's just the nature of cinema these days, and it is the nature of movies that are specifically designated for a younger group, of which this is.
It is.
I'm very surprised that over the last 4 days, however, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that this film only took in about 53 mil.
Well, that's what it was projected. Remember, we discussed the projections about a week ago.
These incredible, box office titans within the past, couple weeks
Black
or so.
Panther, which was a force to be reckoned with.
And then it was knocked off the circuit board by Pacific Rim. But, and they're all just doing hundreds of millions of dollars. So it kind of blew me away when a movie of this scope, and they pushed this movie quite a bit online.
It's been getting quite a bit.
A lot of press
online advertising,
a lot of good reviews. And yet, of course, the people who read the book, you always hear, I hated it, 1 star, blah, blah, blah.
There's always going to be the haters, the fanboy haters.
Taylor Swift said it well. The haters love to hate, and that's the way it is. and you cannot change them. But I enjoyed this film.
So did I.
I thought there was a classic element
Yeah.
to it. It ain't The Wizard of Oz.
No,
but there is a beauty to the end result.
Yeah, I agree.
And a tear did, as in most Spielbergian films. You know, the one thing I thought he blew it on was using, once again, John Williams as his score writer, as his...
well, he couldn't because John Williams was busy, that's why.
Well,
he used
who did
Alan
the score?
Silvestri, who
did
did
he?
Back to the Future,
Yep.
which is a big presence in this
All right,
film.
very
DeLorean.
good.
Williams was busy when this movie was being scored. I don't know what he was doing, but he's busy.
But you know...
Because obviously the two of them are mano a mano.
Well,
they
there
didn't
you
have a downfall or anything, you know?
That was the worst part about the film for me, was the music. If the whole thing
was
had
decent.
been played with synthesizer,
Well, that would have
perhaps,
been great,
It would have
yeah.
been great,
I-
and it would have
I'm always for
updated
synth.
it. But this was just, I know you are, but this was just your standard
It was a standard score.
Hollywood
Yeah, I agree,
score.
I agree.
It just, you know, momentumized each individual
Yeah.
scene to the extent that it could, which is usually not that much. You know, the best score, of course, as anyone will ever tell you, is the one that you don't notice.
It's
when
true.
you're watching a movie,
Yeah, I hear you.
you don't want to
Doesn't draw attention to
if
itself.
it draws attention to
Yeah.
itself. But I think this would have been better had they updated their just their technology a bit, and rather than using the standard orchestral sound, specifically for a film like this.
Go
I think it
more
would have played
electric.
much
I know what
better.
you're saying.
Much
I would
more
like to see that
synthesized.
version. That
I
would
know
be
you
cool.
would. Yeah, it would be cool.
But overall, though, it's a very enjoyable film. I was really impressed with the sheer amount of licensing they were able to get to include into the film, because I know the
Yeah.
book is heavy on that. And I read an article saying that they were not able to get anything from Disney. So there's no Marvel
interesting.
material in the film.
Okay.
There's no Star Wars, obviously. And Spielberg himself took himself out of the equation, which I believe was heavily in the book. I haven't read it, but I hear he said, I don't want anything that's too self-referential.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't want to be, having E.T. moments within the film.
Well,
there
that-
was a T-Rex, though, which obviously made me
there
think
was
of
a
Jurassic
T-Rex,
Park.
of course.
But anyway,
still,
we got some
enjoyed
people
this-
talking tonight.
Oh,
They
look,
changed
here
the-
it is.
the-
Hey, look, the old nerd is
None of
here.
the challenges are the same
There
at
you
all.
go. It's
Great
the
scene
old
with the
nerd.
cut
Ladies
to the
and gentlemen,
camera,
brief round of
playing the
applause for
game
the
so
old
funny.
nerd.
Yeah, thanks, guys. The old nerd, thank you.
good to see him. I disagree, says McPick.
I think the long-haired dude isn't young enough to
Hi,
understand the film.
McPick. This is for
I
you.
never listened to the music watching a movie, only Black Panther. I disagree. The music was awesome. Great Gatsby, good music.
in the movie.
Ruth
Great
Bader,
Gatsby
they did
is
change
up
it,
there
but it
with
was
good
still good
movie
movie. So,
music.
okay.
Ah,
Well,
there
thanks
you
for the
go.
input, guys.
Thank you, Calamity.
I definitely would like
Always
to
a nice
read the
thing
book.
to-
I bet you there's. I don't know. Are there more books? I think there might
I
be
don't want to
others,
read
right?
the damn book.
They've
The
gone with
movie's
a
been
trilogy,
made,
one
the movie is a visual,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
a visual sight.
But it
fest.
lends itself to possibly other things. Maybe I would prefer, maybe keep it self-contained. But
There you go.
I don't know. Are there other books? I'd like to know.
It'd be very difficult to describe every little moment.
There's just
of
so many
this-
things going on
so
in this
many
movie.
things going on in this film. That,
Sensory overload in a way.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words,
Yeah.
that book should be literally 3,000 pages
I'm sure it was a
thick.
big book. You know what was funny in the film? T.J. Miller. I enjoyed him.
I enjoyed him
I
too.
enjoyed
You know,
him
I
in
didn't
that.
even
Yeah.
notice
Yeah.
that it was him doing the voice
Yeah, he
until
was-
about halfway
he
through.
was good.
I kept going, who is that? Who is that? Who is
Yeah.
that?
And then it
of
just
course,
strikes you.
It just hit me.
Yeah.
That's T.J. Miller, of course,
Yeah.
who is coming up in our beloved Deadpool 2.
Yes, he's in Deadpool
He will
2.
be, plays the bartender in Deadpool 2.
He does, yeah.
He's the guy who started the Deadpool, which of course we were going to
That's
begin
right.
our own Deadpool.
We were thinking about
tonight.
doing a Deadpool as well.
But then we
yeah.
sort of changed our mind
Yeah.
because McPick is here. And I said, McPick, no, forget it. No Deadpool with McPick around. So there you go,
Yeah.
Calamity Jane.
But I agree, it is nice when movies make people read. That's always
All
nice.
right,
Yeah.
so let us move
We're
on.
going to
We
move on
both
now.
enjoyed
We
Radio
both
Player
really.
One.
I give a
It
big,
was
big
good.
yes to Ready Player
Big
One.
yes. I'm
I
gonna
enjoyed
give
it quite a bit.
A good yes. I mean, it was sensory overload
Yeah.
to some major extent.
And did you do
there.
the IMAX? I assume you did, or you did 3D. You always do, right?
I did do the
I
IMAX
went standard 2D. I didn't
no,
want-
I
I didn't
went
want all
IMAX
that.
3D. I went all out.
Okay.
I went crazed and confused. I sat there, just being mind blown because it was a film I think to relish on IMAX. But as we all know, the IMAX is only good for the moment that we're sitting there in the theater watching it. When you
Yeah.
get home and years later, when you remember a film, you don't remember how you saw it.
No, that's true.
You just remember,
Yeah.
oh, I saw that movie.
Although
Did I see it on
honestly, I have a sick mind that I will remember, for the most part, which theater I've seen every
okay.
movie in.
All
Like
right.
I can tell you that I saw Jurassic Park when it opened at the Hawthorne Movie Theater, Hawthorne, New Jersey. I know that I saw Breakdown 4 times in the theater, twice at Willowbrook, twice at the Garden State, at Route 4 Tenplex.
Oh, there
doesn't
you go.
matter, but
Very good.
I'm
Nobody
just
cares.
Doesn't
Nobody
matter.
cares.
I care.